Epstein Files, mere conduit of the slaughter's tide, where demand devours and supply provides. In shadows of power, the butchers convene, feeding the frenzy, unseen and obscene. In this shimmering realm of illusory grandeur, where kaleidoscopic lights dance like fireflies in a fevered dream, colossal titans stride through envy's haze, draped in silken veils spun from fortune's golden threads, nestled in palaces that stab the heavens with arrogant spires. Empires of flesh and steel, their presence a thunderclap rolling through corridors of power, a spectacle of dominance that bends the world to its knee. Surely these ascendants clawed up jagged cliffs of ambition with bloodied hands and iron will. A silver-screened siren wrapped in glamour's heady perfume, a forsaken scholar birthing corporate leviathans from innovation's womb, a dancer, a tempest of limbs, enchanting souls like a siren's call across storm-tossed seas. One, a celluloid demigod slaying dragons in epic reels of fantasy. Another, a monarch reigning over black gold oceans that feed the world's endless hunger. Cradled in velvet lineage, a crown prince forged in heredity's fire. Or the helm of a behemoth nation, a shadow puppeteer making lesser realms tremble like leaves in a gale. From volatile tides of oil to roaring rivers of global currency, these overlords grip the quill that scripts destiny's ledger. Alliances forged in smoke-filled chambers, enemies lit like wildfires, decrees from their thrones alone. Why deny them sovereignty over our fates? Their triumphs blaze, etched in constellations of conquest. Yet I, a fleeting moth, beating against obscurity's glass, grind at the millstone of endless toil beneath a merciless sun. The blame coils round my own throat. I faltered, failed to forge my saga of glory, wallowing in destitution while weeping for fellow shadows. A self-inflicted wound, festering deep. I swallow injustice like bitter poison, yet dissolve in sobs for strangers' scars, dreaming equality's mirage, heretical illusion, my gravest sin. I crave to luxuriate in opulent citadels, ablaze with diamond fire, to glide ethereal skies on wings of whispered wind, encircled by glamour's hypnotic halo, a constellation of adoration, to seize a nation's throne in the blink of a lunar eclipse, or summon legions with a flick of my baton as vocal virtuoso. But I drift, impotent, adrift, save for imagination's fragile sails, my essence still unproven in this arena of wolves. Poverty's cradle was forced upon me, yet wealth's summit stays beyond my grasp. Fate's capricious dice may yet roll unseen shadows. Fortune passed me by. I cower in divine thunder's shade, worshipping these gargantuans as lighthouses piercing my night. But is this devotion pure flame, or jealousy's venomous serpent coiling within? If they reaped opulence from sweat and solitary genius, what edict grants me leave to burn with resentment? Why then does this inferno of spite rage unchecked in my core? From this dawn onward, no veil of humiliation shall cloak my modest form. In my gaze, these sovereigns shrink, mere vermin, scurrying in forgotten gutters' filth, for they spat upon the altar of godly reverence, the unyielding guardian of souls. They ravage tender blossoms of innocence with claws of unbridled savagery, hearts barren as scorched desert, no mercies drop to quench the flames. Plunging into abyssal depravities, boundaries shattered like glass beneath a hammer's fury. From what infernal forge did they seize the scepter to torment the untainted, bloated with treasure's swollen belly? What elixir distilled from sipping guileless youth's crimson nectar? Where lies heroism in stalking fragile fledglings, draining lifeblood like vampires under moonlight? Did visions of their own children not rise like ghosts from conscience's grave? An iron-fisted chieftain descended on delicate daughters like ravenous wolves, while we, blindfolded fools, hoisted him high in electoral carnivals of deceit. He vowed equity across the weary globe, yet his palms dripped with barbaric ritual gore. On that desolate atoll, a coven of reprobates gathered like storm clouds brewing apocalypse. Infantile wails swallowed by the ocean's voracious maw. Unheard symphonies spare. Whispers claim those shrieks sparked perverse fireworks in their blackened souls. But even borne on wind's wings, what tidal wave of change would crash? The tyrant, now velvet coronated, has alchemized atrocity into an impregnable fortress of power. Spirits crying for righteousness crumble to dust, entombed in apathy. The boundless architect conjuring universes from a dingy garage. Once a beacon, a comet streaking across young aspiration's sky. I too once chased his radiant orbit, yearning to mirror that celestial arc, but no more. Never will I become a marauder cloaked in his guise. Cast aside those tarnished troves, forsake that poisoned chalice of coin. He donned heaven's mantle. O celestial arbiter, shield me from want so deep larceny becomes creed, yet cap my hoard, lest abundance drowns thy hallowed echo from my mind. Prosperity twists the spirit into adultery's serpentine embrace, as these ghouls have carved in stone. Tolerable, perhaps, as instinct's primal beat, but extravagance wakes the sleeping devil, a hydra rising, fangs bared, truth incarnate. If affluence, dominion, vigor hurl one to monstrosity's zenith spire, then mendicancy clothes me in robes of untainted serenity. I seek exaltation in visions spun through sleepless vigils, yet decree, O divine, let verdant peppers and stale crumbs sustain this earthly frame. Should riches breed deformity's grotesque flower, exile them from my horizon. A pauper I endure, basking in humility's quiet dawn. Appetite stirs cravings for emperor's feasts, yet after seeing those fiends feast on a child's incinerated husk like carrion crows, my simple greens and unleavened bread bloom sweet as nectar. Banish the siren call of lavish banquets from my path. Indigence now wears euphoria's gentle shroud. If humanity devours its own in cannibalistic frenzy, then strip me of thrones, gems, steel steeds, and opulence's gilded cage. They brand rivals despots, unchained autocrats parading tyranny in daylight. Who holds their chain? Yet no overlord escapes this macabre masquerade. Beneath democracy's thin veneer, the chosen twist into shadow-warped grotesques. Scarlet splashes from veins pure as morning dew. O sage of the cosmos, surely rivers of blood have flowed. For scepter and spoils, one potentate danced like a marionette before another's throne, illusioned by the masses' democratic blaze. Yet on that isle of infamy, he orchestrated orgies of obscenity unabated, unseen by mortal eyes, as he guzzled vitality's ruby draught. But the Almighty's vigil, eternal panopticon, pierces every veil. No holy terror flickers in their eyes. How could it blaze? They kneel at Satan's obsidian altar, devotees of darkness. Withhold extravagance from me, eternal one, for thy essence pulses in my veins. I cradle thy awe, preserve me in this unadorned vessel. Veil my sight forever from such putrid spectacles. Awaken, O Creator, unleash retribution's tempest upon these abominations. Set this orb aflame anew, summon the cataclysmic flood once more. Those guileless faces, etched in purity, banish sleep from my nights. The piercing laments of fragile maidens echo like thunder eternal in my ears. Phantoms of desecrated forms and infernal torments cling like chains to my mind. Shame surges for wearing humanity's stain, my soul adrift, trapped in labyrinths of unrest. Only an infinite abyss of terror remains, relentless. A vagabond mendicant I stay, and therein blooms my profound redemption.